a world where the number of movies available is great, but many are so bad, you'll learn a new definition of hate. One man sifts and reviews through the movie sludge. One man will be the movie cop, jury, and judge. He goes by many names, but you know him by Movies Merica.
Stop. Whatever it is you're doing, I'm going to have to insist on your full attention. For one of you listening to this podcast will be the focus of a mystery wrapped in a shell. Steps will be taken. Choices will have to be made. Allegiances will have to be questioned. Are you up to the challenge? To decide on what ingredients you want in your burrito at Chipotle.
Halle Berry, that has a kick.
Roll that intro.
Hey, all you beautiful movie-loving people out there, live from a red carpet somewhere, surrounded by celebrities. This is the Movies Merica podcast with Van Ebert, where movie reviews meet cold brews. Van will review your favorite and maybe not so favorite movies while enjoying some ice-cold beers and saying cheers. Now let's head into the theater and join our illustrious movie reviewer du jour, who's no doubt got the beer ready to pour, Van Ebert.
Hey everybody, welcome as always to Movies Merica Podcast. It honors me for you to join me here, where today we are going to turn a mystery into history. That's right. We have a very mysterious, methodical movie to review here today. And this is a sequel to not a sequel, but like an accompanying movie to the 2019 movie Knives Out, directed by Rian Johnson. And Netflix bought the rights to the Knives Out property for just oodles and oodles of cash. And so this is going to be the first Netflix iteration of Knives Out. And so the Netflix iteration that I will be reviewing today is called Glass Onion.
Ladies and gentlemen,
This is it.
you expected a mystery.
Get your hand off of that.
You expected a puzzle. But for one person on this island, this is not a game.
Will you explain it to us then, Detective? Really, Duke?
Oh my God!
Really?
Lock the doors. Stay in your rooms.
Everyone.
Is in danger.
All right. When's the murder mystery start?
That would be right now, Dave Bautista. Yes, he plays a character named Duke Cody in this hair movie, Glass Onion. And yeah, he is just one of a very eclectic cast of characters in this. So just like an original Knives Out that had like Don Johnson and Jamie Lee Curtis, Chris Evans, Ana de Armas. Who else did it have? Of course, they had Daniel Craig, Lakeith Stanton, a bunch of other. Who's the other guy here? Anyway, so just an assorted cast of characters here. That's kind of one of the calling cards of Rian Johnson's Knives Out movies. And so Glass Onion, again, not sequel, but like accompanying feature to Knives Out, like the latest chapter, so to speak, has a whole lot of pretty interesting, big time actors and actresses in it. And so basically the synopsis, probably a good place to start right here for Glass Onion, because if you're like a lot of people, you probably have no idea like what this movie is or what it's about or whatever. And so in case that is the situation, Glass Onion is really, it's a murder mystery comedy, and it does have a lot of comedy. It is pretty funny. It made me chuckle quite a bit. And so the synopsis is, so Ed Norton, he's like this Elon Musk-like billionaire character that invites a bunch of his quote-unquote friends to his massive mansion in Greece for the chance to solve his quote-unquote murder. And so his mansion is called the Glass Onion, basically. So that's, I guess, that metaphor means a whole lot to him. And so they are there to, solve his murder there. So it's supposed to be kind of like just a fun, get some drinks, party it up, but under the guise of a, fun murder mystery weekend, So like you can do in real life, right? So, and like I was saying, it's got a great cast. So I'm surprised really that they didn't work in a singing scene, because a couple of the actors in this is Janelle Monae and Odom Jr. Leslie Odom Jr., of course, from Hamilton. And so, like I said, I'm surprised they didn't kind of work in some musical number or something like that. But I guess it wouldn't really fit in this movie. But great cast. Like I already mentioned, Dave Bautista, Ed Norton, Daniel Craig, as you heard for most of that trailer, as Benoit Blanc. So he's kind of a Hercule Poirot, Agatha Christie kind of character in the Knives Out movie. And he's just fantastic in this. He's got Kathryn Hahn, and you may know her from like Anchorman. She's the one that told Christina Applegate, that Ron Burgundy, he will say anything you put in the teleprompter. So that's Kathryn Hahn. So, and then we've got we've got like I said, Ed Norton, Jessica Henwick, she's in here, Kate Hudson. Who else we got? I already said Janelle Monae. I got some new folks to the scene as well. So you've got, who do we got here? So we've got Madeline Klein, and she plays Dave Bautista's character, Duke Cody. She plays his kind of like eye candy girlfriend. Her name is Whiskey. So, but that is like the main core of the cast right there. So Daniel Craig, Edward Norton, Kate Hudson, Dave Bautista, Kathryn Hahn, Janelle Monae, Leslie Odom Jr., Jessica Henwick, and last but not least, Madeline Klein. And they work well together. I mean, they just got great comic timing and chemistry. And when you watch this movie, you'll definitely tell that. There's a right at the beginning of the movie, you'll just be able to tell that they are performance pros and know how to look like they have this chemistry and this comic timing with each other. So, and so one thing I have to mention here about this mansion that Ed Norton's character has, where they're going to solve the murder mystery. So he calls it the Glass Onion, and this Glass Onion mansion, I swear to God, it looks like a fortress of solitude, like in Superman, where it's made out of glass, and in this case, massive ego. Okay. But he's showing everybody his Glass Onion mansion. Yeah, it's definitely reeks of someone with a very inflated idea of themselves, So, and it kind of looks like a James Bond villain's secret lair, or in this case, not so secret lair. But again, it's called the Glass Onion. Hence the title of the movie. And Glass Onion has multiple meanings in this movie, as you would imagine. So. Like I was mentioning kind of before, Daniel Craig's Benoit Blanc is the highlight to me of this movie. He's like part foghorn leghorn. What I say. And so he's part foghorn leghorn, part Tennessee Williams, and then part Hercule Poirot, the famous detective from the Agatha Christie novels, Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile, those books from Agatha Christie. And one of the funny things about his character, Benoit Blanc, is he's like really good at turning on the Southern hokum full blast to disguise exactly how smart he actually is. Sort of like how Peter Falk did with his Lieutenant Columbo character in the classic 70s show Columbo. He just tried to disarm the potential bad guys, by kind of acting like just friendly and down to earth, and not particularly bright, just to make them think like, oh, okay, well, this person, I don't have to worry about this character right here, this detective, he's he can't solve his way out of a paper bag, and Benoit Blanc does the same thing. It goes, I got to believe it or not, you invited me to this party. This is, I gotta say, this is fabulous stuff, and these chicken wings are quite amazing, quite tasty. Oh yeah, they're very well. Thank you very much. Okay, just turning up that Southern hokum full blast, and it works beautifully. And Daniel Craig, for being an actor from across the pond, just nails it. Just nails that accent, and he's got to do that for an entire movie, in like multiple takes and multiple months of shooting this movie. I mean, people can do like an impression for like a phrase or two, right? But this guy, he's got to get it down. He's got to get that dialect down and keep it maintained for an entire movie. That's got to be tough work, absolutely. So, but hey, before I press on here with the rest of the review, let me let you know here that the Movies Merica podcast episodes are on Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and many other podcast platforms that you can possibly think of in that cranium of yours. I mean, you'll be hard pressed not to find this Movies Merica podcast anywhere. So it's probably the best way to put it. And if you happen to be listening to this podcast on Apple Podcasts, feel free to zip on down to the very bottom of all the episodes, and you're going to find 5 funky stars down there. And feel free to give it a 5-star rating if you so desire. And then also there's a write a review button you can click on to do exactly that. Write a review. You can make it nice and short and pithy, or you can make it long and extended. And just review and just go crazy, and write yourself a War and Peace novel or something down there for a review. And hopefully that War and Peace length review is nice and friendly and kind to yours truly. But if it's not, hey, you know what? I got to deal with it. I guess I'll just have to improve. And also the podcast episodes are on moviesmerica.com. And I'm also on that thing called social media under the moniker of Movies Merica, of course. I'm on Twitter and Instagram and Facebook. All right. So you can check me out there. And okay, so let's get to one of the features, not a bug, but the features of each Movies Merica episode. And that is where I choose one lucky beer to drink. Yep, absolutely. And so this week's beer is Clown Shoes Crunkle Sam. Yes, this Crunkle Sam wants you to join in and drink this Clown Shoes Crunkle Sam, which is an American barley wine ale, and it says it's aged in bourbon barrels. So that's how you know it's legit. Yeah. And yeah, I like me a good barley wine. It's definitely one of the heavier types of beers. It's good and thick, and it's got a higher alcohol by volume than your typical beer. And yeah, so it'll hit you a little harder. You don't have to drink quite as many, unless you want to. But every single time I think of a barley wine, I think about how I was at the Beale Street Music Festival in Memphis, Tennessee, one time drinking barley wines, and I discovered that a barley wine goes very well with red velvet funnel cakes. So take that to the bank there. Just deposit that in the old noodle there, and yeah, if you're having a barley wine next time, hunt down a red velvet funnel cake somewhere if you happen to be at the old county fair or something like that, So, but yeah, that is today's beer for this here episode. All right, so the Clown Shoes Uncle Sam. And again, I'm not getting any money from this brewery or anything like that. I love me some beer. So I'm going to take a tug off this. All right? Be right back with you fine folks.
Ooh, thick, rich, and hearty.
Okay. So moving on in Glass Onion, or with Glass Onion. Okay. So this movie definitely has more comedy in it than the first Knives Out. I thought, I mean, that's one thing, like 20 minutes into this movie, I realized, okay, yeah, this is, I mean, the first Knives Out had comedy in it, but this is really ratcheting up the funny, and it does it successfully. I mean, I was chuckling. Okay, I officially was doing a little gut busting in this, as particularly in the beginning, where they're just laying out for you, what these characters are like, what they're made of, that kind of thing. And I got to say, Kate Hudson's ditzy model character is particularly hilarious. Her character's name is Birdie, and yeah, she is just the picture of a ditzy model who is a complete disaster area to her poor assistant / PR person. Okay, she just Birdie, Kate Hudson's character is she's just like uncontrollable and just too dumb for her own good when it comes to posting controversial things, let's say, on social media and saying inflammatory things in award shows, that kind of, or talk shows, that kind of thing. So you'll see what I mean about her character. Pretty hilarious, and she's she's definitely a reflection inspired by some real life characters that I'm sure that you'll be thinking of as you see this Birdie character. And one other thing that this movie features is some pretty funny celebrity cameos. And of course, I'm not going to say who. I'm going to let you enjoy discovering those cameos in this. But they fit in seamlessly in this. There's some movies where they put shameless cameos in there to just try to carry the movie. They're just put them in there as filler because they realize that the rest of the movie isn't that great. But in here, Rian Johnson is fully aware that he's got a great movie, and these cameos just serve to enhance the movie, and they're pretty hilarious. Now another thing is this movie won't be timeless, and definitely will date itself because they work in the whole COVID mask thing into the plot pretty prominently. You see the characters walking around with COVID masks on, and just like in the movie 3,000 Years of Longing, that was one of my criticisms of that movie is, in 20 years, people are going to look back at movies where they didn't bother to just, to do away with any dating of this movie by putting in COVID mask wearing in it. So, and I don't know if it's just like the film creators are just so defiant. They believe in the COVID mask and that they work and that you should wear these masks everywhere. And this is just their kind of way to say, screw you, to all what they would call the anti-maskers, and so they're just like, this is my movie, this is my world, I can have people wearing masks all I want, so take it, I mean, I don't know if that plays into it, but I can't think of any intelligent reason why you would have this. I mean, just picture the next Mission Impossible movies, that were filmed fully in the pandemic. I seriously doubt that they're going to have they're going to work COVID masks into the plot, okay? Because they're not going to want people watching this and going, oh yeah, this movie was pretty good, but I was kind of thrown off by the fact that, they were wearing COVID masks, which is a dead giveaway that, this movie came out 25 years ago during that whole 2020, 2021 COVID thing, 25 years ago. It's, it's just, I mean, it's kind of like now where you watch movies and they're using payphones, it's like, it just dates it, right? People using fax machines. it's kind of a distraction. Like, oh, okay, yeah, okay. This movie was apparently made in 1983. It's like there's no cell phones. Everyone's using these phone booths and stuff. And so and it's going to be that way. Like, in 20 years from now, in the year 2040, and they're watching Glass Onion, and they're like, what did people wearing the masks for? Like, oh, that's right. This movie was made 20 years ago, and they were too lazy not to incorporate the COVID masks into it. But I digress. So enough about that here. Now, like I was mentioning before, there's a lot of funny scenes in this, and one scene in particular I'll make note of is there's a funny scene involving hot sauce. Okay, and I am just going to leave that right there. Okay, leave it right there, and then after you watch the movie, and as you're watching the movie, you'll be like, oh, that's what Van was talking about. Okay, gotcha. And also, they do have a kind of a funny credit to a famous actor in the movie or in the music section of the end credits. And so sometimes, if you're, a movie file like me, and you're weird and just warped and you like to watch the end credits, one thing I couldn't help but notice in the music section of the end credits is, there is a particular credit to a very famous actor for one of the sound selections or music selections in this here movie. Another character, very not much a prominent. That's terrible English. A very unprominent character in this movie is Dave Bautista's mom in this movie. So Duke Cody, like I said, I think is his character's name, and so Duke's mom in this movie towards the beginning has it's a very bit part, but she makes the most of her 30 or so seconds in this movie, and she's pretty funny. She's just gonna she's his mom, but she's protected as kind of secretly a genius, and you'll know what I mean when you watch that. The setup scenes towards the beginning of the movie where you've got all the characters and they're all calling each other, FaceTiming each other, because they all got this stereogram, this big wooden box that has a stereogram inside of it as a big invite from Ed Norton's character to his murder mystery. And I should say Ed Norton's character is called Miles Braun, aka Elon Musk. So this Miles Braun, Ed Norton character, sends them these big wooden boxes with a stereogram in there as part of this elaborate invitation to his murder mystery weekend. And so they're calling each other, hey, did you get this big box from Miles? I did. Did you? Oh, you got it too? Oh, let's call them. And hey, let's see if they got the big box from Miles. Oh, yeah, let's check it out. Oh, yeah. Oh, so how do you solve this thing? They're like just all FaceTiming each other on the phone, like just trying to solve the stereogram to get to the invitation. And that scene is just, hilarious. I mean, I was actually in a rather packed theater watching this. And they were. The entire theater was like laughing their butts off, and that reminds me. This movie is a good movie to see in the theaters with a crowd. Now you better rush out because this movie is only in theaters for 1 week. Okay, like I mentioned, it's a Netflix presentation, so they're having this movie in theaters for 1 week, starting on November 25th. So a couple days ago, for 1 week. So in 1 week only, so you better get out there fast. And then they're going to put it on Netflix on December 23rd. But I think it's definitely worth it to try to scramble to your nearest theater and watch it with a crowd because it's a lot of fun. It was like just one big movie party, I thought, watching it because this movie just has just so many funny lines, so many funny moments in it. And so those setup scenes, towards the beginning of the movie, we just had everyone in the theater just cracking up big time. And this movie is evidence that, Rian Johnson, the writer and director of this, is most assuredly better at writing and directing original movies like this. I'm sure Star Wars fans would most definitely prefer him sticking to just these originals and staying away from any kind of Star Wars movie if they have their way about it. Okay, so he directed The Last Jedi. I have a controversial take here in the fact that I don't think The Last Jedi is that bad. To me, it's a Star Wars movie that definitely has, some big mistakes, some big things to criticize about it, but I don't think it's the dumpster fire that is the popular opinion in the world. But yeah, he directed The Last Jedi, and he most assuredly will not be getting another Star Wars movie, I don't think so, because there was supposed to be a whole Rian Johnson Star Wars trilogy or multiple Rian Johnson Star Wars movies, and just due to the worldwide backlash, the worldwide outrage, that won't be happening. So, hey, we get just more Knives Out movies, instead. So that's good. That's good. Because, this movie is definitely better than The Last Jedi, which a lot of people in the world would go, duh. Everything's better than The Last Jedi. And another good thing about this movie is it's got good, fast-moving pacing. So, you will not it will not put you to sleep whatsoever, okay? You will not get groggy. Your eyes will not be getting heavy. You will not want to be drifting off to dreamland in this because, it's the pacing is good and it's efficient and there's not really any kind of wasted scenes. It's always got something going on with, very interesting, often hilarious conversation. But at the same time, I would be remiss in saying, in not saying that it does have some jaw-dropping twists and turns, and Christopher Nolan would be proud because it does do a lot of time jumping. The movie is far from linear, but it really adds to the movie. It's a good thing that it does do the time jumping because when you're watching like the first half of the movie, there's a lot of events, scenes that go on, interactions with characters that you think really nothing of, and then a lot of things get revealed, and then you think back to those, how those two people were talking to each other and what they were talking about, and you're like, oh, whoa, that was something. Well, that was very important. And wow, okay, and so it's very good at that. Very good at just providing some good jaw-dropping moments. And also another thing about this is there's some good music usage, some good tracks in this. The composition, the actual original score, I didn't think it was that great. I mean, it's good at portraying this as kind of like a globe-trotting 60s era like murder mystery kind of movie. I mean, it's good for that. It does accomplish that, which I'm sure is one of its missions that it wanted to accomplish. But other than that, it's not. It's kind of just it's not really much of anything to sneeze at. But as far as like the music tracks they use, I mean, they have like a good mix in here. They've got Red Hot Chili Peppers, got some Little River Band in there. Parliament, can never go wrong with Parliament. It's got some Johann Sebastian Bach in there. It's got some classical music, of course, and Bowie. It's got some Bowie in it. Come on, you can never go wrong with some Bowie. And so I mean, I think Rian Johnson he does a pretty good job at the music tracks in this and perfectly placing them in there, particularly the Little River Band song. He's got their song "Cool Change" in it towards the end, and it kind of ties in with there's this recurring character in it. I believe his name is Daryl, and you'll see. I know I keep saying that. You'll see. What I'm saying. You'll see. But you will see about this recurring character that just keeps showing up named Daryl. And at the beginning or at the end of the movie, he's in his room listening to "Cool Change" by a Little River Band, and it provides a very hilarious moment, no doubt. But so. As you could tell, I would definitely recommend going to see this. If you're going to go see it in the theaters, like I said, you got to go and rush out and watch it now. Because I think this Thursday, which will be on November 27th. So, that's going to be, early December 1st? Yeah, December 1st. That'll be this Thursday. I think, this movie's not going to be in theaters after that, so you should definitely check it out. But So yeah, again, thanks for listening, as I will always say. And again, another thing I always say is, hey people, get out there. Those movies aren't going to watch themselves. See ya.
Hey guys, don't leave the video quite yet. Okay, I've got a popo. They're coming after me, and I don't have much time to tell you, but you need to like and subscribe this video right here, down below. It's right down there. It's just waiting. It's waiting for you down there, okay? And make sure you watch these videos over here too. You'll be doing me a big favor. I'm gonna be in handcuffs pretty soon. All right, thanks for watching.